Hello and welcome to the video of my essential EDC items. Thank you for tuning in. So, as you know, if you're subscribed to the channel, I'm an enthusiast for knives and watches and many other little things that usually would interest a man that likes to work with their hands, likes to make things, etc. These are my everyday carry items, the absolute essentials. I cannot breathe without wearing a watch on. Not that I'm very time conscious, but I just need a watch on my wrist at any time. I sleep with a watch on my wrist. I have my keychain, and I will get into details on what kind of a keychain it is and whether you can get it if you like this keychain, and I'll review briefly the items that are always in my pocket or obviously on my wrist. Let's get this out of the way. Just like a knife, I always carry a lighter. I always have a lighter on me somewhere. So usually it's a big lighter. Right now I have this one. Doesn't matter, it makes fire. Regarding, let's put aside the keychain first. Regarding the watch, this is a G-Shock Square. It is Bluetooth and multiband 6, so it can pick up the radio signals and correct itself that way, or it can connect to your phone through the Bluetooth app, etc. This has a lot of functions. You can even get reminder texts running up here. I believe several different texts, whether you need some sort of an alarm or taking medicine at a certain interval, etc. You can do this with this watch. Why I like the watch personally is because, first of all, it is a G-Shock, so questions of durability and robustness are answered swiftly and easily. It's basically an unbreakable watch, but I do always install a screen protector. Why I do that is because, unfortunately, even though you're paying a premium for the mid-tier and above G-Shocks, most of them do not have a sapphire crystal. They will usually have some sort of mineral glass which scratches very easily, so tempered glass. I've already replaced 2 tempered glass screen protectors on this watch. I don't know when the damage happened because it's a bit weird. This plastic bezel surround is above by at least 1 millimeter above the watch face, but somehow, I don't know, maybe I banged it on something. Twice I looked down and there was a crack on the screen protector, so you just pop it off and put another one on. Now it is a negative screen. I would have liked it to be more vibrant, more visible under different angles. You see it kind of disappears on you, especially at night. If you do not do the light, which I'm now, yeah, this is now lit up. Even the light is rather weak, as you can see, but works. One thing about this Casio squares, they usually, most of the models come on a strap, and I don't like the very cheaply made plastic filling straps on these squares. So I've got that aside, and I'm wearing, well, actually this Casio square came with this bracelet. That's the reason why I purchased it, is because I like the contrast of black and red, and it is a rather innovative way of constructing a a bracelet, because inside this is not screws, this is not pins, it's spring bars, similar to what you would use on the lugs, but just a smaller size. I believe these are 16 mil. So it's very easy. There are holes to pop them out, the spring bars, or you can also access the spring bars from here. Anyway, I prefer bracelets or bands on my watches rather than something like this, you know, the traditional buckles. I don't like that too much. I think it's not as comfortable, not as easy to put on and off, etc. So I usually do not wear it like this. I will wear something, if I have it on rubber, I will have a fold over clasp or a bracelet. So the EDC watch, if I'm out in the yard working on something, doing masonry, etc., I will be wearing this watch or the Casio Protrek. And here the theme repeats, obviously. Casio for digital watches are my go-to choice. Yeah, when it comes to digital watches, there's basically nothing that compares in terms of the experience that Casio has and the quality that they're able to provide in this given price range. This Casio Protrek, I have a video on this, an extensive review, and why I like this watch so much. It's rather cheap. Sometimes on Amazon you can get it for around 150 bucks, plus minus 20 bucks. On sales, I've seen this as low as 130 or 135, which is approximately the price that I paid for it when I purchased it probably 6-7 years ago. I absolutely love this watch. It is very light. Also came on a traditional buckle strap, watch strap, which was rubber, silicone type rubber. Actually much better feel and quality than the Casio squares come on the strap, but still had the traditional buckle, which I do not like. So I purchased this silicone strap on AliExpress for, I don't know, $2 or $3. It is a 24 millimeter, so it's a bit harder to source a wide variety of the straps. You're rather limited in options, but it works fine. And even here I specifically went with this thin pressed clasp, not milled internals, because this maintains a very slim profile, keeps the watch very light, and serves the function beautifully. So no need to have milled clasps, etc. on here. And same goes for this. I mean, this is Casio from the factory. Casio's clasp, which is pressed clasp, not milled. Again, that keeps a lower profile, keeps the weight down, and it does serve the function perfectly. So no need to have a milled clasp here. I will not be wearing my beautiful, I put this together myself, but obviously I got all of the parts from Proxima, which is my favorite watch brand from AliExpress, and I'm wearing it on the Crafter Blue CB03 rubber band, vanilla scented, and I have put on this pretty nice fold over clasp, milled internals. This is not milled, it's pressed, but it is rather thick, even has this polished chamfered edges on the side. Now this is not a diving clasp, I wouldn't call it that, but it works good on everyday carry. Anyway, this is not what I would be calling an EDC, or what I would be wearing on a daily basis, especially when I'm doing some physical work. These are the two watches that I wear. Have done hammering, power tools, all kinds of stuff with this. There's no way of breaking them or spoiling them. I have also done hammering and drilling with NH35s, not this particular one, but I have probably, I don't know, 10 NH35 watches, and I've been amazed by the durability of the Seiko mechanisms. But when you do have a choice, I would always advise doing manual labor with a G-Shock rather than any type of mechanical watch. Now, we did the light, we did the watches. Let's now talk about what is inside my pocket. I'm very big on knives. I love knives. I make knives. I modify knives. I buy knives. I have all kinds of sharpening systems. I'm a knife geek, blade geek actually, not only knives. Larger blade tools, swords, axes, anything that cuts and chops. So, with that being said, this is my most used knife, a Victorinox Classic. It only has a blade, a very small one at that, very simple basic stainless steel. It has this file, which I have almost never used the file. I will, if anything, I'll use this tip, which is also a flathead screwdriver, a tiny pry bar, and scissors. It has the tweezers, it has the toothpick, and that's it. 99% of the cutting that I do, whether it's with a knife or with the scissors, realistically speaking, I do it with this. Opening boxes, packages, or whatever, cutting a nail, cutting a loose thread on your, your sneakers, on your jeans, or melting that thread off with a lighter, if it is a synthetic material. So there is an argument that the best survival knife, for example, would be this for me. Now, I specify survival and not a woods knife or a bushcraft knife, because if I am going to the woods, obviously, of course, this is always in my pocket, but this is not what I will use. If I'm going out in the woods, I already know what my destination and purpose is, intent, so I'll take a serious knife or knives along with a saw or an axe, etc. But talking survival, usually you do not expect to end up in a survival situation, and I don't always carry a fixed blade on me or even a folder. I actually do not like folders. I don't have many folders for the simple reason that I use my tools. I put force and pressure on them, and folding knives break, cut fingers, or just start, squeaking in the mechanism. You have to oil them, you have to take them apart, brush them out, blah, blah, blah. I understand gentleman's situation, gentleman's knife. For me, that's all bullshit. I'm sorry. So I don't carry folders, usually. The only knife that I always carry on me is this knife, and this knife does a lot of work. And as I said, 99% of the work is not chopping wood and batoning tree stumps, etc. It's just, everyday little things that you need to cut, shorten, whatever. So in a survival situation, I know that 100% I will have this knife on me. Yes, I can build fires, I can make kindling with this. Not large, but if you know what you're doing, you don't need too much kindling to start a fire. And this will do in a pinch. of course a horrible job. Of course it will take you much longer, but better than nothing, and I always have this on me. I have bought and gifted this knife several times actually to my wife, to my kids. Everybody in the house has this simple knife. And you know, every 5 years or so, sometimes this thing will break the spring. This is not a good mechanism. Victorinox has been using it forever. There are better mechanisms for operating the scissors. Yeah, and so sometimes this will break and you can replace it by just moving it like that. Pop this out, put a replacement in. If you mess up and think that these are pliers and you use it to cut wire and stuff, then you will need to replace the whole thing. It's not worth trying to undo this and undo the pins and replace the scissors as a whole and keep the knife. This only costs about 20-ish USD. So every 5 years approximately, you just replace it. I always carry a light source on me. So in this case, this is a Maratac, US made, actually on a, what do you call the rotating, I forget, lathe, anyway. This is done on a machine, not by a computer. Lathe, yeah, lathe work. So this, as you can see, is copper, and costs, or when I purchased it, it cost significantly more than the other aluminum models. I first purchased the aluminum model and then upgraded to this copper, which is a bit heavier and a bit more robust. When I purchased the Maratac, this was probably the best LED light available for this size of flashlights, but since then they have significantly evolved and improved the technology. So now I'm looking at Rovivon. Rovivon has a lot of really cool lights within the same size factor, within the same shape, but it also, well, they have a wide variety of models, but the one I'm looking at is actually the Aurora A8 4th generation. It has some side lights over here, UV white light, and that is on top of having the main light, which is 650 lumens as claimed. Now this is only 100 lumens, so it goes to 100, then I don't remember whether it's 15 or 20 or something, and then half a lumen for a couple of days. It's supposed to be able to light on that half a lumen. I've never tested it, you know, I don't have the nerve to keep it on for a couple of days, but usually I have to take out the battery and recharge it maybe once in 3 months. I don't use it very often, but I know that anytime I need to, I always have a good source of light, a tiny light, but a good source of light in my pocket, and robust, waterproof. It's not gonna break. That's actually one of the downsides of the Rovivon. Even though they make it in aluminum, they make it in titanium, but obviously those ones do not have the see-through side lighting. And the one that I do like is made out of a plastic. The main outer shell is plastic, which is questionable, even though they claim to have water and dust resistance, etc. But I'm just worried having all of these things beside the light, and you know, moving and rubbing against each other in my pocket. It could cause the clear area where the light comes out from to get scratched up. Anyway, light, reliable, good quality, US made. it actually came with a clip, which a couple of days back I broke off unintentionally. Obviously, I was just trying to take it off and put it on here, and where it bends, you know, it has these clips, and then it comes out and bends down, and where it bends, I was just holding it like that to take it off, as I usually do, as you're supposed to, and it just broke. I think it is the same issue as this Victorinox, for example. When this is moving repeatedly for a prolonged period of time, it just wears out. It is a spring steel, but still it wears out, and in the section where it has most of the work and motion, it breaks. I've never ever seen this Victorinox spring break anywhere other than in that band. It always breaks in that band, and I've had probably 10 of them break on me. So yeah, same happened to this. So let's put that aside now and talk about the keychain. This keychain I purchased in a Victorinox / Wenger official store here in my country. It came, if I believe correctly, if I remember correctly, it came with 5 of these ring things, which I don't have all 5 anymore. I think I have 4, because this is my motorcycle luggage key. I have the motorcycle key, which is in the motorcycle, that has this, and I think that's it. I must have lost the 5th I don't know, pin or whatever you want to call it. This keychain, ever since I purchased it, I've had it and I love it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to find it anymore for sale anywhere, and I've been looking and looking. They must have discontinued it, and I have no clue why, because both Wenger and Victorinox make keychains that absolutely suck. They just suck. This thing is perfection. Because of how it is set up, how easy it is, how reliable it is. It has never let me down. It actually originally came on a different type of chain, which did not have these welds on, and I didn't like that, and it also was this twisty chain, so I did replace this, and it is also so it came on this, and I believe it is a Victorinox chain or keychain. It just did not come with this setup, and that's the only thing that I changed on it. But that's not the key. The key is this middle part here and how this operates. So basically, it has a groove inside. I'll try to show you. It has a groove inside that is wider than this outer lip, and the way it operates is you push this down and they pop out, these round things. So inside it has a diameter of these ball pins, but outside it is narrower, so there's no way of this falling out unless you intentionally push this down. So that's the chain part, and obviously it has 2 of those ball points, and even if one pops out, you know, it's still on with the second one. And the way you extract the single ones is obviously simpler, right? So when I get on my motorcycle, for example, and I have the motorcycle key on here, you just press it down, slide it out, and that's it. Never has any of the keys fallen off. I think it is quite compact and a great idea. When I was looking to replace this, I actually found some knockoffs, some other brands that I did not purchase because the reviews did not sound too good. But since then, as I said, I haven't been able to replace it. If you are able to find it, by all means, I strongly recommend, if you're looking for a keychain, strongly recommend this one. What this says is US patent number and then 5.224.366. So that's not a part number, it's a patent number, I believe, patented by Wenger, and for some real odd weird reason discontinued. This just says since 1893. So there's no part number, and the way I've been searching for this is Wenger keychain or Victorinox keychain, and all that comes up is pure crap compared to what this is. And again, it allows me to carry all of my essential items on a daily basis. Very reliable, and I'll also spend a couple of minutes. So the chain that came with this one, with this key thing, had something different to this. It had the carabiner, a much smaller diameter here. So when I replaced it with this, the clip came with the chain, and this clip is way better than the smaller clips that are the other option and came with the original keychain. Because sometimes your belt loops, if you're wearing jeans, they're usually thin, but you may be wearing like cargo pants or some other work type pants, which will usually have a significantly wider belt buckle, and this just goes on and off very easy. Because of its size, it is still very light, and again, what I like about it is there's no weak points here, weak links, so-called weak links in the chain. They're all welded together, and this is one full piece, so very reliable. So that will be my EDC items, and again, thank you very much. Please remember to subscribe. I would appreciate it if you like the video, if you like it. If not, please tell me what your thoughts are and what you do differently. I'm always open to new ideas and improvements and progress. So thank you again. Have a good one.